Hi, welcome to That Reminds Me Of, a podcast about film and the films that remind us of that film. You're here with Baron and the Doc.
And the Maestro.
Do we need another drink?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Doc, how are you, my friend?
Baron, I'm very good. We're back at the Capitol, our second home.
Yes, we are on the third floor between the lifts and the men's toilets. Downstairs, there's an event going on, so it's hubbub. There's hubbub happening downstairs.
It's a bit noisy, but I think they're having a premiere here tonight. And I think that's good. I like the atmosphere.
It comes with the territory of a festival, okay? We should embrace it. That's what we're going to do. We're going to embrace it. We're going to do our episode anyway. We apologize if it sounds noisy, but whatever. We're going to just yell a bit.
No, this will be fun.
You'll love it.
What did we watch last night?
Last night, we watched a Korean film and a debut feature called Sleep.
We did.
And this was a film by Jason Yu, apparently a protege of the great Bong Joon-ho.
Director Bong.
So that's a pretty amazing thing to do, to be a protege of that guy.
Well, let's be honest. I think that's why we chose this, because we're both fans of good old Bong.
Yes.
And and also Director Bong.
Yes.
So I think that's, for me at least, that's why I was really keen to see this, because I was getting vibes of, what it could be.
Yep. So Bong Joon-ho, most famously known for Parasite.
Yes.
Okay. And in this film, we have a couple actors who are in other films that are Korean films that we've seen.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize them. Did you?
No, but I'm looking forward to going back to the film. So Parasite is one,
Yes.
which starred what's his name?
That's Lee Sun-kyun,
Yep. So
the
apologies.
male protagonist. in this.
Apologies for, I'm going to say our pronunciation. Yours is probably better than mine.
No.
But we're Aussie blokes. We're not going to get it right.
And then we had Jung Yoo-mi.
Yes. You and me both.
She and she was in Train to Busan, which is an amazing film if you haven't seen it. Zombies on a train. What more can you want?
No, it's a good premise.
Yeah.
But Sleep. We were both pretty tired because we've been doing a lot of these films. So I, going in, kind of needed some sleep.
Oh, and when it starts, it's pitch black and you just hear someone having the best sleep of their life, just gently snoring away.
Yeah.
Oh.
I actually looked beside me. I thought for a moment it might have been you.
Yeah, well, the film quickly takes off from being a gentle sleeping man in bed with his wife to chaos happening. Do you want to do the myth synopsis maybe and tell us what they say it's all about?
Well, I was actually going to do the myth one, but then I happened to be on IMDb, so I'm going to run with IMDb
great. Let's
if
do
you
that.
can handle that.
Yeah.
So, a pregnant wife who becomes worried about her... The grammar in this synopsis doesn't make any sense. I'll start again. A pregnant wife becomes worried about her husband's sleeping habits. What starts out as some light sleep talking soon escalates to unexpectedly grotesque behaviour. They consult a sleep clinic without success, and as his nightmarish behaviour escalates, they desperately seek help from a shaman.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. It's a
Yeah.
badly written one, but it makes sense.
It makes sense.
That covers what the film was.
Yeah, totally. So the husband's having, I don't know what I forgot what they call it, but basically when he goes to sleep, he sleeps so deeply that he won't wake up for anything, and he sleepwalks and does things.
Yes.
And any number of things, and they get more and more violent and scary as it goes on.
Yeah, I think they called it REM sleep disorder. So it happened in the REM stage of sleep or something like that.
And of course, you end up with, there's a mixture of comedy and horror in here. Like there's a lot of hijinks about how you're going to stop the husband from getting up and walking around while he's sleeping. And of course, the wife stops sleeping herself because she's so worried about what's going to happen. And then the horror really escalates when he starts basically attacking the family pet and the family themselves.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, major spoiler alert. But I think that's okay.
I think that's okay.
I think we've given away where it goes exactly.
Yeah.
So, and I have a feeling that Reminds Me Ofs are going to give away more. So we'll have to navigate that when the time comes.
That's okay.
Let's just say spoiler alert now for this one.
Spoiler alert. There was something very Korean, as with all Korean stuff that you see, there's something Korean about it, like the humor, the pacing, the interplay of the different tones was very reminiscent of some of the other, great Korean cinema.
I just love it. There's something about the offbeat humor mixed with other genres that you get with all Korean films. Not all, but a lot of them. And it's there in spades here again. Probably not as finessed as some of the other great Korean films that we've seen of late, but I think as a debut feature, it's pretty impressive, and I'm curious to see where the films will go from here.
Did you like it?
Yes, I did. I didn't love it. You know how much I get into my Korean cinema. This one I think is sort of middling, but still worth a watch.
Yeah. No, I felt exactly the same, but I enjoyed it thoroughly all through. So, while I'm not going to rewatch it 10 times, as I might do with Parasite, I thought it was a great debut.
Jason Yu has a style that I'm intrigued to see where it's going to go from here. It sort of rides that line of being a little bit corny at times, and so corny in a good way. There's a little bit of cheese in the horror, and that can be great. So I just don't know. I don't know where it's going to go from here, but
I'm hoping that bit of cheese is less just his style as a filmmaker and more what he infused into that relationship to make that relationship so nice and believable.
Right. Yeah.
I really, from very early on, really loved their relationship when it was going well at the start. They just had a good chemistry. They were supportive of each other. The sign on the wall said something like, if we're in it together, everything's cool. So it really presented a really great couple.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
The relationship was strong. The way that drama was handled was done well.
Yeah, and I think some of the corniness and the humour reflected well on that relationship rather than sort of annoyed me with, as part of a stylistic choice of the film.
I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt as well and say that the budget was probably not very large. So some of what you see there is in terms of cinematography, production, design, and just, the things that make a film feel expansive aren't really there. It's very contained. Yeah. So that contributes to the overall feeling of the film as well.
Yeah, it didn't worry me so much. Yeah. I thought the containedness, I always liked contain.
Yeah, same.
It was good.
Same.
Why don't we get to the main guts of the show and what it reminded us of?
Absolutely. Do you want to start? Shall I?
Yes, you start.
Okay, so I'm going to delve straight into some more, a slightly different Asian horror subgenre, let's say.
Okay, yeah.
Japanese ghost stories.
Yeah.
So I was reminded strongly of Japanese ghost stories, and in particular, the variety of the attached spirit. So this is a huge spoiler alert, but our old mate doesn't just sleepwalk. There's an attached spirit involved here. I think you could reference The Grudge or Ju-on pretty easily for this one as like a good comparison. And I think this one's lighter on the scares than what you get, like the genuine terrifying scares that you get with the Japanese ghost stories. And it sort of is a bit more on the cheese end of the scale, but it's still there.
Yeah.
And it's fun. It's good. It's good fun.
It's a family drama version of Japanese, whatever you called it.
Attached spirit.
Attached spirit ghost story.
Yeah. Specific subgenre. Yeah. What about you, Doc?
My first one, I reckon, might be an obvious one, if my mind works the same as everybody else's. Yeah. But that's Rosemary's Baby by Roman Polanski.
Yeah.
And Mia Farrow, who, I could watch it just for her. She's pregnant and moves into a new house, and we've got a bit of background noise here. Mia Farrow moves into a new house, pregnant, with her husband, and strange things start to happen as all these kind of, haunted, possessed kind of stories
Yeah.
do. Strange things happen. She gets suspicious and paranoid about everyone around her, husband included. So really, that's the same. You could have the same synopsis almost for this film.
Rosemary's Baby is one of those films that I have never seen. I'm horrified to admit. But I've heard so much about it. Everything you're saying makes sense to me.
Well, if it makes sense to you, it makes sense to me.
I quit. I quit the show because I clearly am not qualified to be here.
Let's move ahead. We've got to get this episode done anyway. So
Great.
You go, your turn.
All right. Well, very much in the vein of what you were just talking about, I'm going to say The Shining.
Ah, yes.
Because classic ghost story, we have a husband who's possessed by a spirit, in this case, the spirit of the Overlook, or the spirits that are within the Overlook. It's a bit of both, I think.
Yeah.
And he's on the hunt for his family. In particular, his son, young Danny, who he's quite, I think the house is quite keen to possess for his shiningness. So, there's a lot of parallels there, because the baby really is one of the main targets of the spirit in Sleep. Spoiler alert.
Isn't it funny how you say, an attached spirit? The spirit's attached to the character, be it Jack Nicholson or in Sleep, but it's also attached to the place, isn't it? So in both of them, this is the guy that lived downstairs.
Yes.
And the Shining, obviously, the Overlook. So I think in horror movies, the place is often so important.
And that's interesting because unlike most ghost stories or horror films, the place needs look kind of creepy. You need to sort of be able to see it and go at a first glance, oh, I don't know if I like that too much, but this place is just so innocuous. It's just a regular old apartment.
I think I like that.
I like it too. And you get a bit of that in the Japanese. Come on through. You get a bit of that in the Japanese horror genres as well. Like, the places don't always look creepy. They're just people's houses, but it's what lurks beneath or within.
Another thing, you mentioned The Shining. Remember in Sleep, there's the scene where she padlocks the door, or she locks herself in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And he's trying to get in the door. You almost feel like it's a Here's Johnny moment.
Yes, absolutely. Perfect. There you go. You're just adding to my reminds me of.
That's what I'm here for.
I love it. Last one for you, Doc.
Last one for me is The Others, starring Nicole Kidman.
What a film.
It's a great film, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a great film.
So again, you've got a woman moving into a house with her kids, and strange things start to happen. So all these films are exactly the bloody same. Woman, kids, house, strange things.
It's almost like there's tropes for this genre.
There might be. Is there a formula? And of course, with The Others, if you haven't seen The Others, this is one that you really should fast forward or not hear the spoilers. But reality isn't exactly what it seems, and the whole conundrum is really what is real here. Who do I believe? Like what?
Yes.
What is the true state of things? And I thought that was pretty well done in Sleep, where the wife is worried about the husband's strange behaviour. Then as the film goes through, you start to flip that, and you think, no, it's the wife who's gone mad.
Yeah.
And then there's a to and fro on that as to what we as an audience are meant to be thinking.
That was great, actually. That was one of the best parts about it, I think.
Yeah.
The uncertainty as the film goes on about whose story is correct, or who's the one that's lost it here.
If I'm to be critical at all, it would be that I found some of those twists and turns a little bit predictable.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
But not outrageously so. And look, how many tricks can you pull? Like, we've seen a lot of these types of films.
I think the journey's still worth it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Well, that's fantastic.
I think we're done. We've got another couple of films to get to tonight.
Yep.
The volume is probably going to ramp up here as we get closer to the opening of or whatever is
They're about to have a great time
premiering.
down there, that's for sure.
So I think we need to get to the bar, perhaps join them for a bit, and then get to our next film.
Yeah, absolutely, Doc.
Cool.
See you at the next one.
See you, Baron.